What's up, guys? Jason here. Just want to hop on and just chat a little bit, guys. So, yeah, the last couple nights, man, I've had some anxiety, man, and it's been a long time since I've felt that. Um, and I know what it's about. Like, um, I just got approved to move into a townhouse. So I'm moving out of my apartment here in the city. Um, but because of that, like there's just like, I don't know, worries, concerns, anxieties about how it's all gonna play out. Um, and I'm doing my best not to like let it get to me, but at the same time, it's still been getting to me, And I tell you, this anxiety I've been feeling. It's like similar to what I felt when like I first quit kratom, when I first quit weed, and it's like, so I have experience. I've been here before. I don't like it. Um, Not having anxiety is such a blessing, and it's not super bad, but like I haven't been sleeping very good. I usually fall asleep like a baby, and the last couple of nights really take longer to fall asleep and kind of sleeping lighter, and I can tell when I wake up, it's like I think it's on my mind about like just worrying about the details of where I'm moving and whatnot. Um, just if someone doesn't rent my apartment out by November 1st, then I might have to pay for another month, um, something like that. But in the city here, man, it's so easy to get apartments filled, so I'm not really worried about it. But at the same time, I am. You know what I mean? Like, because it's giving me anxiety. So, and also like, I'm just realizing when you're like in an anxious state, um, you can kind of view everything in life out of that lens, like through an anxious lens. So if I'm anxious, like kind of like the way I'm thinking is like kind of skewed. It's kind of like off. So I can catch myself like having thoughts like, like even like moving into this new townhouse, like having old thoughts that come up like, oh yeah, now you can like move and like have friends over, have girls over, party, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't, that's not the life I live anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of funny because I live at home right now in the city by myself in an apartment, so I could be doing all those things right now if I wanted to as well. So it's kind of funny that it's like shows like the old programming I used to have, like when I first got out of high school and first got my apartment, man, I'd throw parties and do whatever I wanted, and that lifestyle got old. It got old. So yeah, it's just interesting being here again, having some anxiety, and to be honest, I'm thankful for it because it gives me more opportunity to grow. It gives me more opportunity to, process it and yeah, like I said, grow. Like we know that when we're uncomfortable, when there's discomfort, we're growing more than when we're comfortable. So like this season of my life, I lived in the city for 3 years, and it's time to move, and it's a new chapter of my life, and there's a lot of unknown, and that's what life is. It's moving into the unknown, not having all the answers, not having it all figured out, but being content and trusting the process of things, trusting God, trusting His plan for our lives. And that's the biggest thing, like I need to keep in the front of my mind is like God has a plan. He has a plan for where I'm going, where I'm moving, and there's gonna be some cool things that are gonna happen. And in order to move into the next level of our life, we gotta push through discomfort. It's so much easier to stay where we're at. It's easier for me to stay where I'm at in my, you know, one bedroom apartment by myself, comfortable, cozy. I'm used to it. But yeah, moving You know, moving my life, um, like it's yeah, it's necessary to get to where I want, where I need to go. You know, like um, you know, we could apply that analogy to so much. You know, like in order to get to where we want to get to, we got to leave where we're at. You know what I mean? So and that's not always comfortable, you know. So I as I woke up this morning with some anxiety, I kind of was like, you know, I immediately just started, you know, doing positive things like reading my Bible, um, reading my devotionals, staying focused um, on God and His what He says about me, not what I feel. Like emotions can lie, you know, and they do lie, and sometimes emotions are awesome and they're legit, you know, but anxiety, fear, depression, that's not emotions we should accept. That's not emotions we should trust. We can take note of them and do what we can to get out of that mind state, if you will. So I woke up today and I don't accept this anxiety. Like I don't accept this. I refuse to live in anxiety. I refuse to live in a fearful state. Um, so, you know, I'm gonna think more appropriately about what's going on. You know, and so I just, you know, went for a run as well. I mean, it's 37 degrees out here. It's the coldest it's been all year. Uh, you know, and I could have used that as an excuse. Oh, it's too cold to go run. You know, I just put on a couple layers, put on a hat, and did it. You know, ran a couple miles. So, and obviously, like moving your body has a correlation with your mind. You know, like just getting out of my apartment, moving my body, sweating, it kind of like kickstarts your mind, kickstarts things into thinking differently, into like, I don't know, man, it's something weird. It's hard to describe. But I've used that so many times, guys. When I first quit kratom, when I first quit weed, man, like working out was such a huge part of stabilizing my emotions and my mood. And of course, number one was God, you know, like His power, His strength. But there still was that anxiety and that discomfort. And wow, it's snowing out. That's crazy. The first snowfall this year. So yeah, it's nice that I've been here before with anxiety, but I don't like it, man. I don't like it. And I did even have thoughts like my mind was like, oh, go to the nutrition store. I think they got some supplements that help with anxiety. And then the thought like, my old mind is like, yeah, you know, kratom would probably take care of your anxiety right now. And it's just hilarious. It's hilarious because it's just yeah, right, dude. So, you know, I'm just being real about like where I'm at, where the thoughts I'm thinking, how I cope with it, how I you know, process it. And part of me feels too like a little embarrassed, right? Like with anxiety, you know. I had some friends over last night for like a fellowship, kind of like Bible study group. You know, and I was still feeling this anxiety, and yeah, part of me felt like embarrassed. Part of me felt like ashamed, like I shouldn't be anxious, like it's a weakness. And to be honest, I think like being open about, you know, what you're dealing with is actually strength, because we all deal with anxiety at some point, you know, not like chronic anxiety. You know, we all deal with some depressing moments in life, not, you know, hopefully not chronically, but like anxiety, depression is part of life. It's gonna come at us. The question is, you know, how are we gonna deal with it? I refuse to accept it as permanent. I refuse to. I will not accept to live in an anxious state. I will not accept to live in a depressing state. I will do whatever I need to do to get out of that. You know, I will not accept that. And I really feel for people that have chronic anxiety or chronic depression, because even just a couple days of anxiety, man, it sucks. It sucks. And I couldn't imagine having that every day. And I feel for you, and I love you, and man, I want to help more than I probably can, you know. Like, I'm not an expert on anxiety, you know, like I'm not an expert on all this stuff, you know. I'm just talking about my experience, what I do to help myself when I experience this stuff, and you know, what works for me. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to put that out there, and just kind of like talk about, you know, like getting sober is great, it's awesome, but life is still life. There's still gonna be hard times that come at us. There's still gonna be struggles, trials, tribulations, and yeah, you're better equipped when you're sober, when you're in a right state of mind, when you grow resiliency to be able to handle this stuff properly. But you know, rather than just going to get high, you know, my old me, I would have just went and smoked some weed or took some kratom or did something, you know, had a few beers to just get rid of how I'm feeling. But now I have to sit and deal with it. I have to process it appropriately. Process it fully. You know, when you're like stuck in addiction and try to process these negative emotions, when you get high, you're like stunting the processing of this stuff. It's like eating food and half digesting it, but never really digesting it fully, you know. But being like in a sober clarity state of mind, you can really see it for what it is, truthfully, and just be able to process it fully and healthfully, you know. And it doesn't always feel good, man, but all these moments, all these little trials, they're temporary. I know I'm not gonna live in that negative emotion very long, you know. Like, there's highs and lows of life. It's just life. So anyways, guys, I'll just leave it at that. God bless you. Peace.